Howdy, everybody out there in YouTube land. I got to remember this down here this time because I got it charging. I got a little bit of a theme, a Wednesday theme song. I kind of got the idea, but gave the idea kind of situation. If you're not watching Scotty P, you got to go be watching Robbie D over at the Hunting Magic. He just launched episode 2. You're going to want to check out this series. It is on point. Here we go. So let's go ahead. This is going to be our Wednesday theme song. We're going to try to work it in. Welcome to another Wednesday review. It is so good to see you. Hope you are ready for a new deck and some Magic too. Please check out our previous videos. There are a few. Every week we got something new. So just join the crew and let's get this party started. Woo woo. Probably tell that my voice is a little messed up there. Got a little allergies going on, but should be fine. Anyway, so today, why don't we go ahead and drop this down. Hopefully we don't have any technical issues. Nope. No, that's about right. Okay, so now we're looking down right here. Let's push this stuff back. We're going to start our next series, right? We're going to be doing some reviews, but we're going to be doing some head-to-head, where am I? There I am. Head-to-head type style reviews, okay? What that means is we're going to be talking about standard decks, which I've got to organize. So this is a way for me to organize my cards, I guess. Right over here. Nope, that's bicycle. Those are elites, I think maybe down here. Yep, here we go. Okay, so we've got tally hos, we've got bees, we got bicycles. Sorry, we've got slow hands, we got first playing cards, we got rise, we got Canis Lupus, Nox. And now all that stuff that we've been talking about before, we're going to try to compound it together. And we're going to start to do these little series where we talk about the different style of cards. We've even got the Monarchs over here for some Theory 11 action. So we're going to be talking about different things, right? Because we're building up to our top 5 favorite decks of cards that we have. But we're going to be talking about, let's say we've got the bees here. Those are standard. Those are ones that for the longest time, bees and bikes were like the ones. And then tally hos started to make their way in there because they're a little bit cheaper. And then you've got last year, Kier Gomes released the Slow Hands, absolutely phenomenal. Chris Ramsey released the first playing cards. This is V3 and V4s, one of the versions of the V4s. And then we've got the Rise playing cards from Rise Magic, absolutely fantastic. Canis Lupus from Vinit Sapaha. It's been a while since I've seen his last name, but Card Mechanic, so those are fantastic. And the Nox from Alex Pandrea. He has stated that the reason why he released the Nox was he wanted an alternative, a cheaper alternative, maybe not cheaper, but a more readily available playing cards besides the bicycles, because they kind of got a little old, I guess. So that is the case. Now here's the thing. Here's what I want to talk about. We want to talk about categories of relevance. Okay. So when we rate these playing cards, we want to rate them on a scale of, do we like the design? Is the design good? Is it good for cardistry? Good for Magic? What category does it fall into for that? We also want to see, is it something that I'm going to be able to use as a beat deck? Which a beat deck is basically I've got pieces of cards here everywhere, okay? And you can see that's a red bike, right? Because I have, right here, I've got this one, and then I've also got this one, which is just extras, okay? Because that's what we've got, right? So we have extra cards, and that's a B deck, right? That's something that I can practice those moves that are going to really damage the cards, obviously for those type of tricks and stuff like that, because they're readily available. Bikes and bees, the bicycles you can pick up pretty much anywhere that sell playing cards. Walmart, Rite Aid, Walgreens, they all pretty much have, and they sell them in 4-packs, so you can pick up those cards and do whatever you want with them. Bees are pretty similar. Tally ho, it's not necessarily something that I'd be able to, think about it like this. If I were to go down to the store right now in town, what could I find? And I guarantee I could find some bikes and some bees, and I might even be able to find, well, I don't have a Walgreens that's within my town, so I would actually have to drive to a different town to get those. But I do have access to them on a regular basis, so technically I might have to schedule something, but I could probably get these pretty quick. But we're going to put those in like a tier 2 for beat deck, because Monarchs are absolutely fantastic. But like I said, I'm not going to be able to pick them up like today. If I wanted some bikes, I know I can go pick some up right now. Bees, right now. I can even, like I said, I could pick up some dragons. Boom. I can go pick those up right now. So why would those not be in that umbrella of a beat deck? Something that if I needed to practice something over and over and over again that might potentially damage the cards, that's what a beat deck is. Then we have something that we call EDC, right? What's your EDC? We've done videos with EDC. I will be doing more videos as they progress. It's just something that comes up. EDC is something like, what do I carry on me? Well, I have Rise merch. I have the hat right here. Yeah, there we go. And on the back it says Rise. It might be backwards. So I've got that. I've got the shirt. So I carry these with me a lot. I'll carry the first with me. I can almost carry those as a beat deck. But beat deck, EDC deck, they kind of fall into the same category. First playing cards are a little bit cheaper alternative, as Chris Ramsey has stated himself. But yeah, they're phenomenal cards just to kind of mess around with. So yeah, so we've got a category for beat deck, we've got a category for EDC, we've got a category for design. You know, what category does it fall into for design? And pricing is a big factor as well. I mean, right now Monarchs are about $10, $11. Bicycles are like $3 depending on where you go. Slow hands a little bit more. First a little bit, about a little bit less. $7 for the Nox. Not these ones. These are the only ones that I have here. David has a couple of other ones, but this is the only one I have, and these ones were an exclusive Kickstarter, so that doesn't... I just have them here for the purpose of the Nogs. Canis Lupus, you can pick these up online. Absolutely fantastic. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, that's part of what we're going to be talking about. Boom. So why don't we get into it today? And we're going to do something kind of fancy. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Let's see here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't have my D&D dice here available, but what I do have I've got some dice. So here's what I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13. Okay. So let's say we've got 13 cards, 13 decks here, but we're going to remove some here. This only counts as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 decks. Let's see what else we have here. We've got the Aviators. Why don't we throw some of those in there? A lot of people like the Cherry Casinos. We're going to throw those in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We need one more. Let's say... drop my dice. What else we got here? Card Classics. Let's go with some Orbits. Orbits are nice, right? We'll go with some Orbits. Okay, and the way we're going to handle this is pretty simple. Is on this side we have specialty decks. And on this side we have decks that can be found locally. Cherry Casinos aren't local, but we'll put them over here anyway. Okay, so what that means is, for today, for the purposes of what we're doing, we're going to go with decks that are made by, besides this one, besides the Orbits, I think, let's see, for Orbit, designed by Daniel Snyder. These are all independent. Alex Pandrea, Rise, Card Mechanic, Kier Gomes, Chris Ramsey. Do I have any other specifically designed? Yeah, why don't we do this? classic playing cards. That's the way to go right there. Classic playing cards. Perfect. Okay. So we've got this dice over here. 1 through, and we'll flip a coin for these two, and we'll flip a coin for these two, but we'll roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we go. 6 and 3. So we got the Monarchs versus Rise Magic. Okay. So today we're going to be talking about, I know we got a long video here, but that's what we do for you guys here. We got to make sure that we've got plenty of great content for you. So today, for the purposes of this video, we are going to rate the Rise playing cards versus the Monarchs. So let's take the feel of them. So we're looking at the definition, the design. The Theory 11 playing cards have foil. There's embossing. There's so much going on here. There's so much happening with this box. It's purple. Who doesn't love purple? Probably some people out there. Rise Magic has this space theme going on, more of astronomy, not space theme. That's more of orbit for space, but astrological signs and things like that. So even though they don't have the embossing, there's still a lot going on. So they both have a lot going on. You can tell that the Theory 11 has a lot more detail to it. So in terms of the design of the tuck case, I'm going to have to say, for the sake of, I would say that I like the color, but I like the design of Rise Magic better. So we're going to give them a tie for the tuck case. Okay. Opens up. Oop, having a little bit of trouble. Open up. Let's put this back in. Open, close, open, close. The material of the tuck case is a little bit more solid. This is a little bit more flimsy. So yeah, so the design is equal, but the material of the Theory 11 is just a little bit more sturdy. So Theory 11 wins it for the tuck case. Okay, do a little fanciness here. So nothing on the inside of the tuck case. And Theory 11 has some embossing on the inside and purple on the inside as well. So again, just to reiterate, Theory 11 wins it for the tuck case. So let's take a look at the card, the back designs here. What a beautiful spread. Okay, so looking at the tuck cases, how much does this convey to you what we're looking at? So looks like the tuck case fits an exact parameter for what is on the back of the card, and the same can be said for the back of the Monarchs. Okay. So now the Monarchs, as far as how they feel, they've got that standard printing for the Theory 11 cards. Very chunky, and I don't use them very often, so they're not broken in. But how does that fan look to you? So there's not a whole lot going on. Like if I did a tight fan here, it doesn't look like I would see a whole lot. If I can get it to work. So it doesn't look like there's a ribbon of any kind. So it doesn't look like, maybe you have a little bit of these lines here happening. So those are kind of cool. I'm going to give it some bonus points because I love the snakes and the sword. So for me, I like snakes, I like swords, and I love the purple. So for me, this back design really does say a lot. Now, if I was good at what I do, sorry. Let's take a look at the fan for this. Okay, so this picture doesn't really, so it has these lines on it that kind of continue through as if you're like on some type of journey almost. but nothing different is happening here. These pictures almost seem independent of each other. Same thing with this here. There are some decks that you get where there's clearly stuff happening, and there's a story to be told with the back design. So for these, I feel like they're both independent. They're a sign of the artist, and so in that case, there's nothing happening beyond what is happening on the backs, based on what I can see. As far as handling, these feel pretty standard, whereas the Theory 11 have a chunkiness to them. So let's take a look to see which one looks better here. So those feel nice. I've worked with the Rise Magic cards a little bit more. So as far as how they feel, I would say that I'm more comfortable using the Rise cards because they feel cheaper in the sense that, like, I don't feel like I'm ruining something, when I use them. I feel like they're just so easy to use that I would be more likely, let's put it this way, I'd be more likely to use the Rise playing cards to practice with and to carry with me, and I would be more likely to use Monarchs for presentation and for performance, which would mean that I would be using Rise playing cards probably more for the purposes of practicing. But as I pointed out, as far as price goes, Rise Magic is probably a little bit less than the Theory 11, but the Theory 11 might be a little bit easier to obtain because I don't have to wait for them to be delivered. I can go pick them up if I really wanted to. So they kind of are breaking even on that point, which brings Theory 11 to the forefront, okay? Because I would say, like, if we were to talk about EDC, I would use these as a beat deck, and I've carried these more than I have the Theory 11. So that means that it takes both of those categories for that. As far as design goes, there's definitely more happening here that you can see. It's stark, it stands out. Whereas Rise Magic, there's a lot going on that you really have to kind of explore, which is the theme that I feel like that's really what that's about, exploration. Whereas Theory 11, it's all right there for you to see. It's easier to see. It's pretty standard. So I think that Theory 11 takes the cake on that. So even though I'm more apt to use the Rise playing cards on any given day, since I don't do performances, I would say Theory 11 takes it just because they are a higher quality, in the sense that if I were to go out and perform, I would probably use these to perform more than the Theory 11, or more than the Rise playing cards. At least that's how I feel in terms of depending on where I'm going to be working. So if I'm working, these are darker cards, so I always keep in mind that, like, if it's a dark venue, then that's going to be a little bit harder to achieve because they're darker. Whereas these are probably going to pick up the light a little bit more. I'm just theorizing on that. Okay, so let's wrap this up just because I'm having some congestion issues here. So I hope you guys enjoyed really what I'm doing with this breakdown, is I'm trying to get you guys to think about using cards in a different way. Okay, so I'm trying to get you to think about, what are you using your cards for? You can go check out Scotty P. I know I'm plugging him a lot, but go check him out. He's got a nice video how he labels his different decks. He's got a new deck, a performance deck, a practice deck. He labels them. Josh Norbito has talked about this as well. So really have an idea when you're using your decks. Like I said, I practice with these quite often. I carry these with me. If I'm not at work, I probably have these with me more often than anything else. So just that's my thoughts on that. King of Diamonds. Yeah. So that's really what I'm thinking about here, is that I want this series to really reflect how much you're going to be using something and whether you're going to be using something more often than something else. If I were to say which one of these would be more likely to be in my top 5 based on the categories that we listed, Rise Magic takes the cake because they are cheaper. Even though these have a better design, I would carry these more often. I would carry them as a beat deck if I might have a second one. I think actually David has it. So I would carry this as a beat deck. I'd carry it as an EDC if I had more than one. They're cheaper than these ones. The design takes it here, but everything else really falls into Rise Magic. So Rise Magic wins this round. And of course, this is opinionated. So if you have any reasons below why you would, I forgot to mention the ease of access. You're going to be able to locate these at a Walgreens if you live in the United States. If you have access to that kind of stuff, if you've got to order both of them, I would order. I'd have both of them, but I would probably say Rise Magic would take it on that. But for me, the design and the ease of access is what wins it here. But Rise takes it because it got 3 out of the 5. It got pricing is cheaper. It got and I'll actually have to double check that. I'll have to double check to make sure that, because if that's the case, if Rise is actually more expensive, then this automatically takes it. So as far as the purposes of the video, as far as I remember, it's cheaper than the Theory 11, and I would carry it more often. So there you have it. So for the purposes of this video, Rise Magic has arisen. Well, there you have it, guys. We're a little over 20 minutes in. I hope you enjoyed my little theme song. I'll try it one more time here for you just to add, like to pad the run time. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to another Wednesday review. It is so good to see you. Hope you are ready for a new deck and some magic too. Please check out our previous videos. There are a few. Every week we got something new. So just join the crew and let's get this party started. Woot woot. Yep. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be doing one more video. I'm probably not going to talk a whole lot, but I want to get a bonus video for you out today. It was a new magic trick that I learned, and I'm still working on some other stuff. Like I said, I've been doing some blacksmithing, working on some knives, and obviously having this, you know, so that kind of, it's better now. It's actually getting healed up. But if you can imagine that before it was hurting a little bit, and then now it's got a flap of skin there, so it's really hard to kind of get some connectivity when I'm doing some of those moves. But there's that. So stay tuned. We got another video coming right after this. Thank you, and remember, stay positive, stay active, and stay awesome. And we'll see you in the next one.